All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about working with triangles here. So go ahead and copy down everything, pause the recording, and triangles. So we're going to talk about perimeter and then area triangles and a few other things. Um, so the perimeter of a triangle, and again, we're going to call the perimeter the P here. Okay, so I'm going to put a P at the top left of my screen here. It's just you add up all the sides. Okay, to simplify and to say it in just simple language, just add up all your sides. So if I have side one here plus side two plus side three, if I just add up all those sides, then I'm gonna get the total perimeter. So here's an example question on the bottom left here is what's the perimeter of the following triangle? And so I've got this triangle here that's got a 5 foot, a 3 foot, and a 7 foot side. So I'm just add up all up those sides and I get 15 feet. Okay. Another sample question. What is the perimeter of the triangle below? And let's say that I had one side's 4 feet, one side's 4 feet 7 inches, and one side's 5 feet 8 inches. Okay. You'll see how I wrote that out here in the bottom right of my screen here. I'm going to add 4 plus 4 feet 7 plus 5 feet 8, and I'm going to get 13 feet and 15 inches left over. Now, 15 inches is 12, 12 goes into 15, excuse me, one time. So 15 foot is, yeah, 15 inches is 1 foot plus 12, 13, 14, 15, 3 inches left over. So if I take this 15 and convert it into, it's 1 foot plus the 13 feet gives me 14 feet here, 14 feet and 3 inches left over. Okay. 3 inches. Okay, I want you to do the homework do just the odds on pages 102 and 103, and then we will jump to your next slide. Okay, next slide here. Now we're going to talk about the area of a triangle, and it's got a little formula here that I want you to use for the area of a triangle here. So you can copy down my formula here, and this says formula here in red. It's a little cut off here, but the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Okay, so this formula that I'm putting a box around here is the actual formula for finding out area of a triangle. So what I want to do is I want to look over here in my triangle here that I'm drawing this arrow towards, and I just want to look at it and go, okay, 1/2 the base b times the h is, we would take the 1/2 times the base, which is, this is the base at the bottom here, okay? So this distance right here is the base of the whole thing from here to here, okay? That's the base. And the height is how tall it is. And in this particular case, if I had a 90-degree triangle here like this, then that's pretty easy to figure out the height because it's just like given here, okay? So, I would plug in my formula. 1/2 times the b times the h gives me my answer for my area of my triangle. All right. However, I want you to look at the triangle in the bottom left, the red one, okay? Sometimes you're going to be given a triangle that looks like that. And they might say that the base is, let's say it's, oh, I don't know, let's say it's 12 here, okay? And then it might say like this height here is like 8, okay? I just want to point out to you that from B to D here, that's may not actually be one of the sides of the triangle. So we have to figure out the height in all of our pictures that we'll see in our homework and stuff, and also on the test. I'll kind of draw it out for you or make it so that you can kind of see, figure out that height. But so I would go, if I was going to figure out the area of this triangle ABC, okay, the red one, I would go like this. I would take my formula, okay, and I want you to practice this really because we're getting into all kinds of formulas here for the rest of the quarter. And so it's 1/2 BH, the base times the height. Okay, so I'm going to take the area equals 1/2 times the b, which is 12, times the height, which is 8. Okay. And that would give you your answer. I can plug that in. If you go 12 times 8 and get an answer times a half, 0.5, you'll get your answer. Okay. Now look at the one on the far right here. I've got a triangle DEF here, okay? So remember our triangle signal was this DEF. Now, you'll notice this one's a little bit interesting looking because it's okay. If they gave you the base and they said that this was 3 here, E to F is 3 feet, for instance. But figuring out the height of that triangle would be kind of complicated. So what I've got is an imaginary line from E to G here and from D to G. And let's say that that was 7, okay? That D to G is the height of that triangle. And so just so you know, sometimes you have to figure out, that follow the imaginary line and look and plug that into the formula. So again, my formula is for area equals 1/2 times B times H, okay? So the area would be 1/2 times 3 times 7, okay? Which is basically half of 21, okay? And that will give you your answer. All right, going to go on to the next slide right away here, so you don't need to pause anything. I just want you to copy down this next one here. Okay, 3. Okay, 4. Okay. Here's an example question that you might run into here. Question number 1, finding the area. Okay, what is the area of the triangle to the right here? Okay, and again, we've got our formula: area equals 1/2 times base times the height. Okay, I've got it kind of written out here on the screen here. So area equals 1. Here's my formula. Again, I want you to write it out on your paper. It'll take you less than 5 seconds to rewrite that every time. Then follow that formula every time. Area equals 1/2 times 12 times 8. 12 times 8 is 48, and half of that, excuse me, the answer is 48 inches. Okay, if those were all inches, okay, 40 inches, or 12 goes into 48 4 times, 4 feet. Okay, but that's how you would get the area. It's 48 square inches or 4 square feet of space. All right. Example question 2. What is the area of triangle RST? Okay. Or QRS. Okay. So I want you to notice my triangle here again. It's there. The triangle goes from R to Q and to S. If they gave you a 3-foot base, okay, the B equals 3 feet, you'll notice that my height is a little bit tricky. So that's why I've got this imaginary line here of 5. And it's outside the triangle, but it's actually measuring, it's showing the actual height of that triangle. Okay, from Q to T, there is the actual real height of that triangle QRS. All right. So again, I've got my formula. I'm going to write it out. Area equals 1/2 B times H. I'm going to plug in my numbers, 3 and 5. Okay, so there's got a base of 3 and a height of 5, and area equals 7.5. Okay, it's really half of 15, which is 7.5. Okay. All right, I want you to complete problems 1 through 6 on page 105 of your textbook. And if you have any questions and you're like stuck, be sure and ask, but then pause the video. We'll go on to the next slide here. And actually, I think that's it. So you can just pause the video and, like I said, send me any questions that you might have.